Back to Norway to talk about 10 more albums. These aren't my top 10 black metal albums by any means, just weird albums that I think might not fit into another video I make, and just oddball albums that I totally forgot about. Before I get into that, I have this Slayer Mag Diaries. This was the Slayer zine in the 90s out of Norway. It's a compilation of all the issues, and this is actually pretty cheap out there if you take a look. I totally recommend you get it. Don't know if I read it cover to cover, but when you have an hour, you can just read a couple articles, and I'm sure I've gone through the whole thing one way or the other. And I also came across Until the Light Takes Us, pretty well-known black metal documentary, and there's many critiques to have on it. But I'm so happy to own a copy. I remember I drove to a mall 4 towns away to pick it up. I did notice that there is a fairly extensive booklet that I haven't really gone through yet, so maybe I'll do that later today. Let's get into these albums. First one is The Third and the Mortal, Project Blue Book. They lost all their metal influences by this point. The first couple albums had some metal. At this point, they were far past that, and although I love a ton of non-metal stuff, this album never really had a lot for me. This is a big dog of the scene, Over Bergtat. This is an old copy on Head Not Found. One of the best black metal albums ever, and it really probably doesn't even belong in this discussion, but I don't own that many Over releases. Won't go into their whole history. They've definitely covered a lot of styles through the years, are doing a totally non-metal thing now, but most people are into it, and they picked up a ton of non-metal fans as well. Themes from William Blake's The Marriage of Heaven and Hell. This is where they really got weird. This is a double album. This is a more recent reissue on Peaceville. Great booklet. And it is not my favorite album by Over, but it's the one I'm the most intrigued by. And the last couple of years, I've been listening to this one a lot. After that, there was this one, the Metamorphoses EP. Remember, I bought this one back in the day, expecting some black metal. Didn't get it. And this is not as song-oriented as the album before or the album after, Perdition City, which, by the way, I should own. It's one of my top 20 albums for sure. This one here, not as much. Haven't listened to this one too often. I'm cheating a little bit on this one because this is a non-Norwegian band. This is Khlyst, K-H-L-Y-S-T. I believe this was the work of James Plotkin, who is an American musician, but he has Runhild, who is a Norwegian singer, as the vocalist on this very experimental album with some black metal influence, but again, not really Norwegian black metal associated act outside of where the singer's from. But I thought this would be a good place to talk about the album. This CD I'm not really into that much. The Halls of Eternity by Ancient. Back in the day, these guys had a bad reputation. Sometimes when bands have a bad reputation, a lot of times I found it not too founded in reality, but this band's always been given a hard time, and this album didn't really make a believer of me. Just second wave black metal, but a lot of keyboards, kind of silly vocals sometimes. Not too into it. The Death Trip. This is a more recent release, and this is done by some, well, at least 2 members are Norwegian. They've been in a lot of lesser-known bands from that scene. And this was them resurfacing with some black metal kind of style. And I thought this album was good, not great. What's this one called? Demon Solar Totem. Cadaver Inc. They were an old Norwegian band that reformed many years later for this one in 2001. It's called Discipline. Surprised to see that it came out on Earache. Let's just call it futuristic black metal. Not bad. Red Harvest. Transit Gloria Mundi. Not really black metal, so again, I'm kind of cheating here. But Norwegian, industrial, futuristic, extreme metal. And I was thinking about them because they tie in to this last CD. Messerschmitt, I think is how it's pronounced. Kind of a little known album. On Season of Mist in 2002. Has Hellhammer from Mayhem. And some other one member from Red Harvest. That's what I was trying to say. And Rune from Mayhem as well. Kind of a militaristic, futuristic, not really metal release. Had a bit of controversy as it was released. People didn't really know what to make of this Norwegian band with the kind of German sounding title, and again, militaristic sounding music. On the back it says non-political. Who knows? But just a random thing. Haven't listened to it in years. That's it. Thanks.